AM 970 WSTX.
Well, I've got some friends in here this morning and family and more like family and friends, whichever way you want to look at it, it's all good. And I'm talking about people from the class of 1965. All right, good. And we're going to get some sweet melody here today, I hear. No, I take that back. I take the fifth. I didn't say that. You didn't hear me say that, right? Okay. But the class of 1965 is a very interesting year for a class. First of all, it's a combined reunion that's going on. 3 schools. First of all, I gonna plead my ignorance outright so everybody could know. I did not know that Claudio Marco was at one point in time a high school. Okay? All right. It's out there. All right? Please. I ain't gonna testify to that in court, but you got me publicly right now. Okay? So, anybody else come to court and set is hearsay. All right? But not only that, it's some interesting people in our community who used to teach there and are trying to find out who was the class sharp boy and who was the pretty girl and, you know, who was the mischief maker and all of that kind of thing. And we'll see what's going to come out here today. And of course, we have 2 more schools involved. We have St. Joseph Central High School, and then we have the Christiansted High School, which today is the Juanita Gardine, and before that it was the Elena Christian School right here in Christiansted. Now, I got out of school and think going on in St. Croix, but them is way before my time and whatever and so forth and so on, and I gotta go read the Bible and find these things out, so I ain't got my Bible here with me today, but I guess I could pull it up on my app and find out. But we ain't going that far back. We're sticking to 1965 today. Alright? And so I've got here in the studio here with me, I've got Mary Roebuck and Gladys Rissing. And we are going to be talking about class of 1965. So, folks, if you were in that class, you know that this is your 50th anniversary. Okay? So don't hold back. 7730390, 7730490. If they don't let it mail it out, you call in and give it to us. Okay. All right, Mary and Gladys, we're here.
Good morning, Dougie, and good morning to the listening audience.
Good morning.
I'm going to plead the fifth too. I only went to one school.
I along with you.
We've been hearing some real stuff about Claudio Marco, though.
You know, and it gets so hot that Tyrone cap out and hiding now. Tyrone calling, man. Calling, you got to call in. I'm going to bust you out here. Tyrone Seals, all right.
I got to, on his behalf and on behalf of some of the other guys, Compai, I don't even remember Compai's real name. We call him Compai for so long. Angel Encarnacion. He's a CHS student, graduate. Thanks. I'm glad it's sitting here next to me, helping me out with the memory part. The two half of memories will make up one. But with the help of George Christensen and Dr. Copeman, Chester Copeman, who is also part of the 65, they're Reggie, and am I missing anybody? I know there's a couple of them. I think Hanson.
Yes, Esdell.
I think they're all supposed to be getting together this morning because we're donating benches to those 3 schools, and I don't mean just a wooden bench that they're just throwing up there. It's well cemented in, engraved, really nice.
Wow.
Something that all the students can utilize rather than, because we kicked it around trying to figure out what can we give back to the schools and
symbolic and useful.
Right, so that's what they're doing. So we understand, but we encourage them to take a break and call in.
All right. Yes, definitely. And I know Well, I know, Dr. Copeman, I understand the confidentiality thing and so forth and so on, but well, you could slip out, slip out. I'm sure we have some characters from 1965.
But, you know, it's interesting. You know, I'm into the research and the history stuff and so on. So I wanted to do, we're doing a booklet, a commemorative booklet, and we want to put a little snippet on the history of each of the schools. And I found it to be really interesting, you know, because my world was St. Joseph, and I knew of the other schools, but I really didn't, you know, focus on what was going on at the time.
Wait, now, from wait. Where you were living back then? I want to know where you were
I was living with your grandmother.
In town?
No, I was living in Salis Fancy.
In Salis Fancy?
Yes.
I don't understand these things, you know. I want people to be on one end of the island, but they don't find their way all the way down. I still trying to figure out how my father get from Salis Fancy to Frederickstead. I'm glad he did.
I was trying to figure out why she and Mary, Frederickstead and Christianstead in 1902.
Anyhow, thank God for every blessing. And we do that.
But I'm gonna go with a little bit of history, if I may, and it's not a lot, for CHS, Claudio Marco, and St. Joseph. And CHS, like you mentioned, you know, going back to it, now ends up being Elena Christian out in Princess. But that school, their first, it's interesting that they started out with a Frederickstead and a Christianstead school got combined, and then they moved it. I went back to a 1978 article in the Daily News, and it was a class of 1928 that was having a reunion, and Dr. Arthur Richards was the speaker, and they quoted him a lot in this article. And he was saying that in 1934 the high school moved to Christianstead. They were in Anna's Hope, these two schools, and then they moved to Christianstead in 1934, and then from there the birth of the one that we knew in Richmond. And that school has a history from 1932 thereabouts, and they held their last graduation rather, in 1967, before they then turned into Central. So they had that span there, which, you know, I think was one of the longest living schools that we had before things started shifting around.
Yep.
And but going back to our class in 1965, they had a total graduation of 80 plus students. I believe it was something like 84, and they had quite a bit of professional people that came out of that school. And Gladys mentioned some of them, and Gladys was part of that school, so she could tell you a little bit more about who went in and who did what, you know, with their lives. But and the article that I was reading, you know, going back to that article, the same problems that Arthur Richards mentioned about the bad buildings, the lack of pencils, the lack of paper, the lack of books, all of that was going on back then. So, you know, it's like, is anybody listening?
Mary, you're a bad influence, okay, this morning. You're making me want to be mischievous this morning.
But he also went on to say that in spite of all of that, that the students that came out, all of them that were part of that class that he was talking about, there were people whose schools were named after. They were big educators, people in the community. And just to read the beginning part, it says, as part of the celebration of the golden anniversary of the graduating class of 1928, 3 prominent citizens in the Virgin Islands appeared on WTJX Channel 12. They were Miss Bertha C. Bisholta, retired educator and former senator, Miss Jane E. Tuitt, retired educator and Associate Dean of the College of the Virgin Islands, and Dr. Arthur Richards, educator, Dean and Provost of the College of the Virgin Islands. And then they went on to print what he was speaking about. So they, at the same time, they were lacking all these things, but yet those who educated the students of that day produced prominent, individuals.
Right.
Exactly. And I think what we're saying is that whether it was under the Taman tree or in a shack or in the best building in the wall, we had good teachers.
Yes.
Right.
And we had, of course, a system of discipline back in those days.
It might have been the discipline, the 75% of everything.
Let me tell you, I remember those days. Miss Christian was our principal, Mr. Livis our vice president, our assistant principal. And one thing, respect from the students. Anytime you walk past that office at Christiansted High, shh, quiet, no noise. Now after we got past, it's a different story. But once you pass that office, and they used to come out and make sure you get to your class, no nonsense. We had no nonsense teachers, no nonsense principal and assistant principal, and guidance counselors and so forth.
Okay, all right. So we see that the element of the leadership, the teachers, the quality of education, the environment was definitely pro learning, regardless of the challenges that they faced. Okay, and see now, Mary, you caused me to get mischievous here because you talk about the combining schools. So I just want to know if, this administration was doing research with you at the same time. Because I see we come back now again, we combining.
Right?
Okay, and that's not a negative because look at what good came out of CHS, St. Joseph, and Claudio Marco. So let's hope that we're back on the track there. We combining for success.
That's right.
That's the key. All right.
And we've been getting a few bios. I wish that we could get them from every single person, but that's like pipe dream. But anyway, the ones that we're getting, they're very, I didn't know. It's one of those things, did you know, blah, blah, blah. Like Elaine Springer, for instance, she was quite an athlete. Elaine James Springer, and I'm reading this, I said, Elaine? She was so quiet in school, Oh, I called the name.
That's okay. Too late now.
No, but it's all good.
Yeah,
it's all good.
Well, I'm going to throw out a suggestion to you to the extent that you have bios. If you could find a student today to do the voiceover, and we could do a video with a picture about their bio, so that when everybody come into the reunion, that time in between before everything starts up, that'll be playing, and everybody gonna be there only to catch the melody.
But there was a lot of educators that came out of the three schools, and then even the classes after. You look at such as Judge Cabret. Judge Cabret wrote an article in our first, the first article in our first newspaper at St. Joseph. And every time I look at that, I say, wow, who'd have thought? You don't know what life is going to bring, and here you go. But anyway, going back to the history, Claudio Marco. Now, I really wish Tyrone was here with Claudio Marco because I didn't know much about it. I only learned maybe last year, I think, that they were, before that, 2011, 2012, when we started really doing things, that Claudio Marco was a high school. Claudio Marco, that goes back to 1958, according to my research. Act number 95 passed on May 22nd, 1958 by the Virgin Islands legislature to establish a new school in Frederiksted with the intent to consolidate and supplant the then existing grammar and junior high school. It further designated the school to be known as Claudio Marco School. The school was dedicated the same year. However, it was short-lived to only 7 years as a high school. Why? That would be the interesting, thing to find out. Why only 7 years? And then that's when the school they turned into just I think it's elementary, right? Not a junior. It's not a junior.
No, I'm not sure, but I don't think so. 'Cause most of your students at Claudemarco, when it turned from a high school, was sent up to Christian State to merge with the
Christian State High.
Right, and I now don't quote me, but I understood that the school was not accredited, and that those students who wanted to go on academically to colleges or universities, the school had to be accredited, and the Christian State High School was accredited.
So they moved
had
over
some that
there.
was bust. Yes, most of those that stayed in Frederickstead, I understood, was like vocational, and those who wanted to go into college, the commercial or the academic students were bused to Christian State to complete.
All right. Well, this is good to know, because now we know that long before the village, we had a culture of moving things from Christian State to Frederickstead and Frederickstead to Christian State. Okay, folks? Put that one there to rest. It's been going on a long time, and it was always well-intentioned. Put that one to rest and we move forward.
And in 65, Claudemarco graduated 15 students. So that was pretty good. But what was interesting there too, where I found this history was in the George A. Smothers Library University of Florida. That's where I went. And well, I didn't physically go there. That's where I did, found the information. But it also gave a little bit of history about Claudemarco himself. And I was very tempted to go to Ancestry, but I said I will never go to sleep if I did, because it said that his third great grandfather was that he was a three great grandsons, great grandfather was a French Huguenot who came to St. Croix. He escaped for religious reasons and found himself on St. Croix. So, right away I perked up. I said, French Huguenot. And I said, oh, no Ancestry tonight.
Oh, Lordy me. I'm going to sue Ancestry.com because they're taking away the comfort and company of my cousin from me. Okay? She's spending all time. Oh, Doug, you're too tired. I was up doing research. Okay.
It was 3 and 4 o'clock catching up to me. So, but and then St. Joseph now. St. Joseph, and this was done from our yearbook. That's where I'm getting that information. It says on November 1st, 1962, 12.819 acres of land at Mount Pleasant were deeded for $24,998.81. They could have rounded that off. And then on September 21st, 1964, the doors opened to 237 students. So it was written in the Centralian Dispatch, Volume 1, Number 1, dated November 15, 1964, and the price was 15 cents.
15 cents.
And that class, there was a graduating total of 45 students.
Wow.
So, and there again, because of the amount of students between St. Patrick's and St. Mary's, they decided to build a new school, put it in the center of the island, and again, Christian State and Frederickstead merged in the middle.
All right. Well, I want to just segue a little bit here, because we're talking about these 3 schools, Christian State High, Claudemarco, and St. Joseph Central High. And we want to make sure we stay focused and keep the people on path that this is the 50th anniversary for students for 1965.
We made it.
All right. And we got some things going on as part of the commemoration, as part of the social, keeping the social fabric alive. And on September 4th, you got something going on.
Yes.
Right. We got Martini's Lounge and Nightclub is the meeting place, folks. It's from 7:30 to 12 p.m. And I'm going to go back in time to when I said it's like this, okay? You could stay out late. You don't have to go to sleep early, okay? And furthermore, it is clear you are of age, so you have to report, okay? It ain't like the old days in my time when you stuff up the bed and everything and sneak out the window. Hey, did I just confess to? Oh my goodness! I hope my mother ain't listening. Those were the days. So, at Martini's Lounge and Nightclub on September 4th from 7:30 to 12.
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. Come on out. See some folks you haven't seen for a long time. Might even say something you ain't want to say again, but come on out, have a good time. It's all about people, you know. All these schools, all the things that are happening on St. Croix, when we talk about history, it's all about people. So come on out. You're going to have karaoke.
Yes,
all
so
right.
please bring your singing voice.
Yeah.
You won't hear me sing because that'll clear the whole place.
But karaoke is about having fun, you know. Karaoke have a basic rule. No booing. Booing is verboten. You
that's
can't
right.
do that.
No.
You could laugh, kak all you want to, but it takes a special, how should I put it, braveness.
Yes.
Some of them have to drink the brave juice. They get up on there, and some people sing and some people howl at the moon, but you know what? Everybody have a good time.
Good time, that's right.
That's what it's all about.
Gladys sang one time. We did something in St. Thomas.
Right.
Oh,
right.
fantastic,
Yeah,
fantastic.
she
Okay.
got up
Dancing
there
in
and
the streets.
Oh.
Dancing in the
All
streets.
right, we do it all the time, all the time. We just call it tramp, but we were doing it long before they come up with the song.
And may I add that we're gonna have the oldies, the goodies, and that we're gonna have the Soul Train line.
All right.
So you come on out and watch us do, and you all participate
Participate, yeah.
All
in
right.
this Soul Train. We're going back in time, and we're gonna roast the time,
So,
and we're gonna enjoy.
all right, all
That's
right.
right.
I'm looking forward to seeing some of that. Okay, all right. Oh, yeah. It's a lot of good things generationally that have come out of our schools. A lot of good people, a lot of good educators and professionals, and I think that to the extent that we can get the booklet and come back afterwards and talk about some of those people, it would be great, because our folks need to know their history, and part of their history is their people.
That's right.
And every time you turn around and you're there on Facebook, you're seeing about this Virgin Islander in this state who did that, the other, blah, blah, and it's amazing.
It
Virgin
is,
Islanders have
yeah.
gone out and made a difference, not just the Hamilton Jackson,
No,
or Alexander Hamilton, or you know, we have all kind of folks spread all over the world, not just from here or passing through here, making a difference. But we just gotta get the word
and
out.
some young ones too, and which to me, I was looking at one young man. He's a designer and he's out of Montbijou, and you know, I'm looking at this young man, and he was given his story about how his trials and errors and how he learned from them and what have you. And I'm saying, you know, what a nice role model for a young person who's thinking, oh, I'm never gonna make it, I blah 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 blah. But here is a young person that you can say, I can do this, you know, because they see his face, they know him, where the older ones, not discounting them because they were important, you know, but at the same time, it's nice to see that the ones that you can look at and know they're coming from your own community.
Yep.
you know?
Well, you know, there are little things that we can do different, and maybe because of technology today that we can do. You know, when you go into the schools, very often what you see is walls, windows, doors, and go inside walls, windows, doors, and so forth and so on. Well, one of the things that you and I have is these little picture frames. But now the picture frame doesn't have to be a small picture frame. The 32-inch screens are so cheap now. And because it's so easy to put all the files on a USB drive and plug it in, and here you have a slideshow. about different virtues all day long. So when our students are passing by, if nothing else, subliminally it's coming into their brain saying, hey folks, you gonna be great too, because see, this person from here did this, that, and the other, so forth and so on. So there are these things that we can do to help to educate our young people. Another project that I'm throwing this out. I hope Department of Education, everybody else listening, or maybe I need to do a grant and do it. But we got VINGN now, and what we need to start having is having some of our students from St. Croix give some history lessons about St. Croix to students in St. Thomas, and the next week or month we switch it around. So all of a sudden we truly can become one in the context of knowing each other's culture within the greater VI culture. So I'm throwing these things out because I want to be part of the solution. I want to see us not just talk about what could be, but at least plan to see that maybe we actually step up and do it.
Too, that we have families in each island, cross families, and that, like, boy, you walk with your family tree nowadays.
Oh, Lord, and it's so funny, you gotta be nice to everybody, okay? And I'm gonna say this figuratively but seriously, right? Somebody is I was doing something and then come to find out
that's your family.
I mean, we make up and everything and move on, but it's you can't get petty like that. You have to understand this place too small. Yeah, but throw it on another level, and I got to talk to Neil about this since they got Neil Canton Boys and Girls Club. If they're not already doing it, to start doing that teleconferencing between Frederickstead and Christiansted, because all of a sudden you start giving your St. Croix children, we got this thing about East coming to West and West coming to East. It's like, okay, so you want to get up and move, okay, we'll do teleconference.
And that can stop the rivalry, the negative rivalry anyway. Good rivalry is good, but when it comes to the negative side, we don't want that. So if you know each other and you know who you are, that helps to make it better. And
then they could be creative on another level. Let's say do the non-violent video games, a competition between East and West. Nobody have to leave to go anywhere. You want to see all of a sudden standing room only?
Yes.
Okay, so in the same way, then we can have in between that, we have the videos showing our history being shared between both places, because we don't have to pay for the bandwidth in that context. It's there for us. So I'm looking forward to September 4th and what are we having, Gladys?
Meet and greet at Martin.
Okay, all right. I'm going to bring you one more often, okay? Okay, all right. Whenever I got something to promote, I'm going to bring you one more often, okay? But no, seriously though, looking forward to the karaoke, and I'm looking forward to seeing that Soul Train line go down, okay? Some of them moves, okay? So make sure you do the Bengay from the day before and everything, and keep everything nice and loose, ready? So you're coming, you ain't got to worry about that.
Do your stretching and everything before.
And we're joking about it, but I haven't done the electric slide in a long time. But every time I do the electric slide, I feel it in when I haven't done it for a long time, it's a lot of movement. If you haven't done it for a while, it's exercise.
Especially that fast version with Express.
Yes. Oh yeah, it's exercise, and I say that in a positive context that the more we do these kind of things and stay fit, the longer we live and enjoy life. Okay.
And also St. Thomas is coming over. There's a few from the 1965 class. They are very, very active. I think they've been active since 1965 and before. But they do a lot, and it's a larger group. I'm not sure how many are coming, but there are some that are coming over for this weekend's events.
All right.
So we welcome them. They will be there at so it's nice to get to meet, and you might meet somebody that you didn't see in a while.
That's great. That's great. But all the partying and having fun is good, but see, you're keeping it balanced, and you have something there for the soul also, for the spirit also.
Yes.
Because on Sunday, September 6th, we have church.
You go to worship.
St. Paul's Anglican Church at 10 a.m. in Frederickstead.
Yes.
All right. So hopefully the Bengay and the Alive will have worked, but if not, you can confess and pray about it, and hopefully you'll get that special touch.
Yes.
Everything will be
Everything will be fine.
okay. But seriously though, this is great to bring people together, to come together and to socialize, and also the camaraderie, and it's part of history.
Yeah.
And you never know, sometimes you just don't know that today was this person, you saw them, and then next thing you know, you're getting the news that something else happening, and you don't have to be 50th anniversary, you could be first anniversary and turn out a classmate is gone, or whatever the case may be. So I'm glad to see this type of thing happening to get us together and start realizing that we need to do this.
Because already I've met students from CHS that came in, and I'd never met them before. You know.
All right, we got somebody here calling in. Good day, caller.
Yeah, Dougie?
Yes, sir.
You guess, I wonder if they remember when we used to have graduation on the wharf and tap the big cistern for the post office.
Not at all.
No.
You got us with that one?
No.
That's where they used to keep graduation and tap that big cistern.
On the wharf?
Yes.
Christian State High?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
What
didn't
is-
know that.
The old post office there had a big cistern. And I went to
The
school
cistern
at
is
Barron.
still there.
Barron Spot was a Catholic school. Mother Bridget, Mother Mussolini, they were the sisters there.
They were your teachers? They were my teachers too.
They was very, very strict. And then I think one time there was a school up at East Hill. Now, our graduating class, which was 56, was the first graduating class right across from the old hospital. That's Elena.
Yes.
That was our first, or that was the
Well,
first
it's
graduating
CHS.
class, 1956.
Okay.
Okay, we got some
Yeah.
history here.
Yeah. So I just throw in that, because what you have your guests bringing back is a lot of history, and this is what we can't let wasted. We have to keep that really, so that the young ones could see what it was like. And if there's need for some polishing, well, they will have to do that.
And
Okay.
that's why I brought up the history part, because you always need to know what it was before, and so that as we go along we improve, or we know that hey, it was a different thing back then. It wasn't always what you know today. So knowing what it was help you to do better, improve it. Like, why are they still in need of books? From back in the 1930s.
And we got to make sure they know,
Yeah.
One time I went to the phone company and said, I have a problem with my phone. He said, what's your number? I said, 31116. And he watched me like I crazy. I said, sorry, 773. Back in the days when you only had 773 and 772, and then 778 came later. Okay.
But
So
you
the
didn't need the 77.
No, exactly. So yes, sir, it's important. We got to make sure that the history is preserved.
I also went to school in St. Thomas at Madison School. We used to live at Brookman, and we used to walk. You didn't have no transportation. All the students get together who live above us or anything, and we walked to Madison School. Yeah.
Well, it's amazing because when you think of La Valley and folks in La Valley going to school, they were walking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? So, truly education was important, it was cherished, and it was something that we had a drive to get it. Okay? And today we giving it away, and folks saying we want it. They need to study the history and understand what their people before them had to go through to get it, and how valued it is.
And when we have children coming home and the parents say, you got homework, and they say, no, that is a no-no. You have homework every day. Oh, yeah.
Well, whether they got it or not these days, they'll tell you no. You better go and look. He's trying today is something
the
else.
time, Dougie.
All right, glad to have you again. All right, good. Yeah, I telling you, you gotta go look. My little boy of mine is something else, you know.
He is so good,
Oh, yeah.
so precious.
I would just like to emphasize again, we're asking our classmates, please submit your bio and at least 2 pictures to Mary. And ask Mary to give you her email. We want this to be, it's going to be a commemorative booklet. And we'd like to get as much information as possible. And
as soon as possible.
as soon as possible.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask Mary
Stan
again.
is helping with the booklet, and he's already laying things out. And
Right.
you know how it is. You don't want to start then bringing a slew
no.
of things, and then you
ain't
got
gotta
to
tell me
start
about that.
rearranging.
I remember the
and-
day.
Yes.
I remember the day. You think you got everything set.
Doug helped me. We were in collaboration with some other family members doing the
booklet,
family
the family
booklet in
reunion way. Yeah.
1995.
It never done.
It never
The
done.
book
I
never
mean,
done. Down to the last minute, somebody bringing something in and show off. You're gone from. You got to do it in numbers of 4.
Right.
So here you are with 16, and somebody bringing one more page. So you got to figure out how you're gonna
How
get
you
the other
gonna
3.
then you gotta make another page. We would
Yeah.
be into the night.
Yep.
Working on
Good
this
old
thing,
days.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Class of 1965. They've got a combined reunion. Christiansted High, St. Joseph Catholic Central High, and Claudio Marco. All right.
And we invite everyone to come out and share with us,
Right, right.
this anniversary, because it's special. 50 years is special.
50 years
And
is special.
I was telling somebody, some of us may be here 50 years from now, but we may not know it. So let's make the best of it now. While there's still some memory.
I am. I have to behave myself this morning. I have to.
Go right ahead. Take the liberty.
That Facebook is corrupting, okay? Because the bottom line is we do all kinds of things for vanity today. All right? And I say this, Alzheimer's is a serious thing.
It is very
but it's a
serious.
reality that we're dealing with, okay? And we do these things, and then later on, literally, we have the benefit of those things, but we don't know what to do with them because of things like Alzheimer's. So it's important that we get the memories down while we have the people here present and of mind to share those things.
Right.
Because how many times have we seen folks in our community, standard bearers, and in the process we've lost their knowledge. The legacy that they have is lost because of things like Alzheimer's. So definitely come on up, folks, before you forget how to get in that Soul Train line, before you forget how to get up on the stage and karaoke, and don't come and say you forget now. Anyhow, we're going to take a quick pause for the cause, and we're going to come back in a minute here. All right? Good.
Keep it on the X. AM 970 WSTX.
All right. We're back with Reflections, class of 1965. As we reflect today, I'm going to reflect tomorrow night down at Martini's Lounge. And we're going to have a good time with the combined reunion of St. Joseph Catholic High School, Christiansted High, and Claudio Marco 50th anniversary. We talking about the karaoke, we talking about the Soul Train line, we talking about the melee and the makeup and everything else. Oh yeah, but anyhow, I am just, I was hoping to get more than melee. I wanted to know who was the pretty boy in what class and who was the cute girl.
I
and
played the 5th.
I played in the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, all of them.
And who was the class mischief maker living in the principal office, But anyhow, we didn't get all of that, so I guess tomorrow night maybe I'll get a little taste of it. and we'll see when the other reunion activities come up down the road.
Yeah.
But this is just
So
fantastic.
we'll be having events up to December. After this month, we're having a banquet in December. I think it's December 18th,
Okay.
and that'll culminate the year.
Okay.
You know, because the classes have been going to the graduations for each school and doing different events, and like I said, we're giving back something to each school.
Well, I'm giving you a month, no more than 6 weeks to come back here because we got some Cavendish. We definitely got to follow up on this
The
one,
Miller
okay?
segment.
I telling you, we got to get it down packed.
Well, just let me add that, Christian Said Hi had a band that was second to none.
Oh.
And were under the leadership of Mr. Marasco,
I remember him.
right?
Yeah,
right.
Mr. Marasco.
Which class Sinclair Williams was it? And I say that Sinclair Williams, I remember him playing in the band. Of course, you're going to remember the tuba. You know what I'm saying? But
I think it was after.
It was after?
I
Okay.
think
But
after.
anyhow, I remember that Christian Said Hi band as a child, seeing,
Yeah.
and it was impressive.
very-
them
very,
coming
very,
marching down the
very.
street and playing.
Yeah.
So
Right,
every
right.
time I see our legacy musicians get together, it's just heartwarming for me.
Yeah. And a lot of them came from Mr. Morasco.
Uh-huh.
You know, Eddie Russell was in our 65 class.
Whoa,
and
okay, all right.
Dr.
And
Kochman.
Dr. Kochman.
Right. We had Rodell Fair. We had Esther Hansen. We had Aloy Nelson. We had James Porter. We had those fellas was awesome. We'll come back I'll come back with Mary. We'll tell you the Miller. Okay.
You tell him the Miller. I plead the fifth, remember?
Okay, sounds like a plan. All right, sounds like a plan. But we're gonna get it done. It's we're gonna keep it alive, keep it flowing, keep the community informed, and turn it into more than just a celebration. We're gonna turn it into a memorialization for the future,
Right,
so that
right.
folks can fall back on the knowledge of their ancestors, the shoulders to stand on, and their accomplishments, and be inspired. That's where we want to go. Okay.
Sure.
Well, it's really been a pleasure. You see how quickly an hour goes
know.
when we're having
I
fun,
know.
Yes.
and it's more than fun. I really am enjoying myself. No, I didn't. Did I have coffee this morning? I can't tell. Did I have
I
coffee?
didn't. I looked at the time and I said, oh no, because I know you always on time.
But-
I said, let me get out of this
But
house.
it's not the coffee. It's not the caffeine. It's just this is Thursday,
yeah.
and
Right.
we're reflecting on the good things in the community, and there's plenty to feel good about.
There is, there
Right.
really is.
It's one of the things I come in here, and once that music start playing, and it's like, oh my goodness, all right, it is Thursday,
It
laying
is
the foundation
Thursday.
for the
Okay,
fantastic
I
Friday.
see you're ready for tomorrow.
Ready for tomorrow. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. Okay.
And for those who may not know where Martini's is, it's on Company Street. It used to be the Captain's Table.
Yes.
So
Okay.
people may remember, people from our era will remember Captain's Table.
Captain's Table. What next to Captain's Table? Across the street, around the corner. Because I gonna tell you, I plead the fifth when it comes to street name and all these kind of things. When you start giving people landmark, they know how to find where part they're going.
You turn up by the Steeple Building. And you go just a few doors up on the same street, but on the opposite side of the steeple, where the Steeple Building is. The
Right.
steeple will be on your left, Martini's is on your right.
your right.
And just go up a little bit further up. On the same side where the Steeple Building is, you're going to see a jewelry store, looks like a cute little house. Across the street, you see some other stores, clothing stores, stuff like that. And you see a beautiful courtyard. And the proprietor of very nice people, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. So
All right.
we're going to enjoy having you as our guest.
All right. Fantastic.